Welcome to Today in Putnam County, hosted by Putnam County Mayor Randy Porter, the show that takes a look at the events and what's happening all around Putnam County, as well as interviews with local, community, and business leaders. And now, sharing his insights and experience, here's Today in Putnam County with County Mayor Randy Porter.
Thanks for joining us this week for Today in Putnam County. I'm your host, County Mayor Randy Porter. We got a great show for you this week. As always, my guest this week is Cammy Aguilar, and she is the Middle Tennessee Director for the Governor's Faith-Based and Community Initiative Office. Well, Cammy, that's a mouthful.
Initiative itself is a mouthful,
yes,
but the whole thing,
is.
yes, sir.
Thanks for driving up and for Nashville and being with us today. And
Thank you.
We were looking at, you were here at our development district a while back talking to us, and I thought, wow, what a great thing to do an interview on, because I think a lot of folks probably do not know about the governor's initiative and what it's all about. So kind of give us the 30,000-foot view, and we'll get into some of the details then.
Yeah, I'd love to. So it's the Governor's Faith-Based and Community Initiative Office, so many words. But basically, we kind of sit at the intersection of government, nonprofit, and houses of worship. So we're really there to kind of create a bridge, and our purpose is to help serve the most vulnerable Tennesseans. So we have two different initiatives that do that, and I know we'll get into that, but that's kind of where we are. We're a bridge between government, nonprofit, and the church.
Wow, bringing everybody together.
Yes, to work together.
That's great, and that's what it's all about, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Working together. We find that here locally, all of our elected officials, city, county, everyone works together really good, but you go to a lot of other places, it's not like that.
Right.
Folks, personal agendas and all those kind of things get in the way, and, and it causes problems. So this started with Governor Lee when he came into office?
Yeah, and so what's interesting is that every governor's office in the U.S. does have a faith-based organization branch, but usually it's just kind of a formality. But in the state of Tennessee, we are one of the only fully activated offices. So Lance Filio is our director. We have a East Tennessee, West Tennessee, and Middle Tennessee regional director. And then we call ourselves small but mighty. We're a little team, but we're doing great work. And mainly to, like you said, to get everybody connected and break down these barriers and these walls, because we have to work together to help serve our kids and people coming out of incarceration. These are our neighbors. It's not just my kids, your kids, the kids in the cul-de-sac. These are all of our kids. And so we feel that as Tennesseans and being in the volunteer state, that this is our job to step in and help.
Absolutely. That's even biblical, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
We're supposed to help our neighbors and love our neighbors. And we have so many issues going right now. And the incarceration problem is one of them, and I know y'all are dealing with where that, I mean, it's almost a revolving door.
Yes, sir.
We built a new jail addition here recently. Our Justice Center was built back in the early 90s, and so we had to do some expansion. But you start seeing those numbers of people that are coming through.
Yeah.
I mean, you've probably got 70 or 80% of those people are just, they do something wrong, they get in jail, they get out. And then if they're not careful, they're right back in with the same group that they were before, and they're right back in again. Yeah,
so it's a 73% rate of people that come out of incarceration, and within 3 years, 73% will end up back in. So that's sad, pretty incredible statistics,
We see, and I'm sure you do statewide, a lot of our issues are drugs with the opioid epidemic and fentanyl and everything. And you start looking at the high percentage of those folks that they were either on drugs, making drugs, selling drugs when they committed the crimes that they're in for. And it's just, it's sad to see those. And we got a lot of great recovery programs here, but it's still not enough, is it, to try to keep those folks from getting them off and keep them from coming back?
Yeah, and so one of our initiatives is the Volunteer Mentorship Initiative, and so we have built the infrastructure for a mentorship program, and so we're currently recruiting anybody who hears this or sees this. Go to governorsinitiative.org, and you can get signed up to be a part of this. But we're training mentors to come into prisons and to have a mentee that's assigned to them, where they can help encourage them, bring them hope, a relationship that's outside of the family and friends that they came from, up to 2 years before reentry. And so what the data has shown is that 35% of people who go through the mentorship program do not return to prison.
Oh, that's great.
It's massive, yeah.
You got to catch them before they get out, though, right?
Yes, yeah.
Start that process.
And so much of that is the awakening and the contact. You know, we just started our first mentor meetings about 2 weeks ago, which was really exciting. We had Governor Lee there, everybody. And there were some of the mentees that said this was the first time in 14 years that someone had ever come to visit them.
Wow.
The first time someone from outside had come and visited them. And so that brings us perspective to, we have to look at people who are incarcerated of, yes, mistakes have been made, wrong things have been done, but there is redemption for all of us. And I believe that God calls us to literally be the tangible hands and feet to go into these places and bring hope and encouragement.
That's the key, and is those folks having hope that there's a different life than what they've been in. Because if not, it's just over and over and over. They only know one thing, and if you don't give them some hope that, wait a minute, there's a different path for you out here. Yeah.
And that is the hard thing with incarceration, is because you are surrounded with the same mindset, the same everything, but when someone comes from the outside and their purpose is to literally say, hey, you can come out of this and you can do it well, and the data shows that that is actually even possible. So it's awesome.
We've got a great program here. It's called Next Step. Friends of mine run, and so they're hitting those folks before they get out and get the judge to let them take them into their home, and they've got group homes that these folks go into. And to hear their testimonies a year later of how their lives changed, and to hear the stories of how bad it was before.
Right.
And then to hear how God changed them.
That's right.
And they've got jobs, they've got their own apartments or houses. Some of them now have spouses, they're married, they're having kids. We need more of those success stories, don't we?
Yes, and some of the people on our Justice Impacted Council for VMI, some of them were formerly incarcerated, and we have one that went from prison to Princeton.
Wow.
So CEOs of companies, lives totally turned around and changed, and we need to bring that hope to other people, that God has so much of a purpose and a plan for their life, and we know that He can change things around in one day.
Absolutely. So is the governor's program, I know when Governor Lee was when he was candidate Lee, he came to my office and sat and talked probably an hour. And I'd never met the man before, but I found out real quick that he had his priorities right. It was God first up here, his family and everything. But to hear his story, with the tragedies and everything he had in his life. But this was one of the things he talked about.
Yes.
About starting, and I thought, I wonder how that's going to go. But I mean, you actually have the program funded.
Yes.
Which is a rare thing across the country, right?
Yes.
So state legislature went along with this, and
and private sector as well. So we're kind of a mishmash of all the things.
So you're actually a 501c3 nonprofit.
Yes.
So you can receive donations from folks, and I know you get some support from the state, but you're getting money coming from other directions.
Yeah, it's a mix. And then within that, we are able to partner with other leading nonprofits to help people incarceration, and then obviously help children in foster care. So really it is a bridge in many different ways to fill in those gaps, because we know that government cannot solve this problem alone. And, you know, as a person of faith, I know that the church was created originally to feed the hungry, to take care of orphans and widows, and to visit people who are in prison. I mean, this is 101. Yeah. And if we can get back to that model of being the village and being the hands and feet, we can really see change. And Tennessee is really leading the way in that.
How did we get away from that? I mean, I know exactly what you're saying. I was raised up in a small county on a farm out in the country. Our church was the one that that
Yeah.
took care of folks. I mean,
Right.
if there's someone sick in our community, we were out there getting their crops in. If there's
Yeah.
some, whatever it was, the church, our little country church, but we got away from that at some point, didn't we?
I think so, and I think so much of it is even a part of Western culture of every family being so siloed and not taking the village approach to life. We have an initiative that hasn't publicly launched yet, but it'll be called the Human Flourishing Initiative, and it is just that, taking a family that's in a neighborhood that's struggling in whichever way, and literally that neighborhood and that community wrapping around that family.
And helping.
Doesn't even have to be a family that's in foster care or anything like that, but just, you're my neighbor, you're my brother and sister. If I have what you need, you don't need to be ashamed to ask that.
Yeah.
And if you have what I need,
Yeah.
because God gives us all different parts of the body to be there for each other. But I think that that's how we've gotten away from the outreach and caring for others, is that every family's starting from ground up, right?
Yeah.
My family's building my house, we're paying for our bills, getting our groceries, our kids. And I just don't know if that's how it was
We
created.
got our blinders on, don't we?
That's right. But if we can take them off,
Yeah.
and I can help you and you can help me and we can do this, we'll see it change.
At some point in time, our lives got so busy. I mean, you used to know all your neighbors.
Yeah.
You knew who they were, you knew their kids, you knew their family. And now it seems like most folks, their lifestyle is so busy with their kids running here and there and everywhere.
Yeah.
If you're not careful, you don't even know what's going on in your community. Some of our neighbors, we were talking the other day, and a new couple moved in that we knew, and I said, the code to my basement door is this.
Mm-hmm.
My tractor, my lawnmower, everything's in my basement. If you need it, come get it. And they were like, really? Well, yeah. I mean,
Yes.
I may need you sometime,
Yeah.
to come. And I said, we live in a great little community where I'm at. And I said, we're all friendly neighbors. We help each other. I said, wouldn't bother me one bit to loan you whatever I have and come and get. We kind of got to get it back to that.
Yeah,
to
and what if
helping
everybody in that neighborhood did that?
Yeah.
I mean, game over.
We do,
Yeah.
and we help each other, and that's what it used to be. We got to get back to that, and that's part of this deal, right? With
Yes.
the governor's initiative is to try to get back and get the churches back involved.
Yes, yeah, get the church fully mobilized. And so as part of my role is mainly to reach out to pastors, houses of worship, all kinds of houses of worship, to help mobilize churches and congregations to truly be the hands and feet. One way that we do that mainly is through the Every Child Tennessee initiative. And we're really trying to help mobilize every Tennessean to care in some way for foster children before, during, and after foster care.
That's a big task, though, isn't it, Cammy?
But it's to help change, the overall mindset that it's not someone else's kids with some other problems.
Yeah.
These are our children,
Right.
our problems
Takes
to
a
solve.
village.
That's right.
Takes a village.
Yeah. I originally started working for the governor's faith-based office. I was called in to help with the live launch of Every Child Tennessee over about a year and a half ago, and came in and worked on the production side of that and getting that whole thing launched, because that's kind of my background.
Yeah.
And I just fell in love with the purpose and the mission behind this office and reaching youth in a different way and reaching people in prison. And so at the end of the day, throughout all of the careers and walks of life, God has always brought me into the place of Isaiah 58, which is kind of my household's verse, which is to go and to untie and loose the cords of injustice. And that is actually the fast that God has chosen. That's what worship is.
Well, that's great. We're glad you're here.
I'm happy to be here.
Glad you're working with this initiative. And we got to take a break. You're listening to Today in Putnam County. I'm your host, County Mayor Randy Porter. Talking with Cammy Aguilar. She's with the Governor's Initiative, faith-based. It's got a whole long list there. We're going to talk about some of the other programs they're doing, especially the ones that involve foster children, coming up in our next segment. So stay with us. We'll be right back.
And now back to Today in Putnam County, hosted by Putnam County Mayor Randy Porter.
Welcome back to Today in Putnam County. I'm your host, County Mayor Randy Porter. We got a great show for you this week. We're talking about the Governor's Faith-Based and Community Initiative office that's started by Governor Bill Lee. I've got Cammy Aguilar as my guest today. She is the Middle Tennessee Director for that office. And when you look at the work that they are trying to do with bringing together our churches, our government, our volunteers, everyone, our businesses, to help foster kids, foster care, people in need, our inmates that are getting in trouble and trying to get them out of the system and in productive lives. And they're doing a great job. And she's drove up from Nashville today to talk to us. And so we're going to hit the foster care now and talk about a great program that you've got. Yeah. Foster care, Cammy's become a huge issue, hasn't it? With the, and it seems like since the drug epidemic has caused a lot of that, we see, I see children that are being raised by their grandparents and their great-grandparents. The family's kind of been torn apart with some of these folks, and that's not just here in Putnam County. You're seeing that statewide and nationwide, right?
Yes. Yeah, so currently we have, I think it was as of June, about 7,300 children in foster care in the state of Tennessee, and we only have about 5,000 homes. And so we have an initiative called the Every Child Tennessee Initiative, and we're trying to help mobilize every Tennessean to care for foster children before, during, and after. And so two of the main ways that we're doing that is we've partnered with two organizations. One is called Tennessee Kids Belong, and they help with recruitment of foster families. So they can help you if your organization, church, congregation is interested. They can go in for free of charge and help your church recruit foster families, give them training. They also help start RAP Ministries, which is creating a ministry of 5 to 10 families around a family that's already fostering to help that family keep fostering. So there's about a 50% kind of rate of families stepping out of fostering after 1 year because it's so difficult.
It is, isn't it?
And so the purpose of the RAP ministry, which Tennessee Kids Belong specializes in, is to help families take care of lawn care, groceries, clothing, school drop-off, doctor's appointments, all these different things, so that the family who's actually brought another child into their home can just focus on the emotional and spiritual and physical well-being of that child. But all the other things are supported and taken care of. And that is part of that community approach of it's not up to my family to save this one child. We've got our own families. It's hard enough. The cost of living, everything else, right? We're all just like swimming a little bit. But this is to do it as a village. So that's Tennessee Kids Belong. And then Care Portal is a technology and company that we're using that works in the space of prevention and foster care. So a lot of families end up in foster care and children in foster care due to neglect. Now, it is illegal to be poor. I mean, it's not illegal to be poor, but it's illegal to neglect. Yeah. And a lot of neglect comes from poverty.
It does.
And so it's this cycle. So Care Portal, you can go in there, sign up your congregation or even yourself as a sole individual, and you can literally see real-time needs that are 2 streets away from your house.
Oh, that's amazing.
All of these needs are sifted through DCS. So these families are already on the radar of the system. They've been given X amount of time. You've got to have, this bed. You need to have your lights back on, all these things. But we can step in as a community in this prevention space, see these needs that are fully sifted through DCS, and as a congregation or even a few people in your neighborhood, go in and meet those needs immediately.
So that's careportal.org.
Yes.
And so our church we can go on this and we can look in our, kind of what we consider our community around our church. And if there's a need, it will show us what that need is and what.
It could be behind your church building.
That's pretty amazing.
It's amazing, yeah.
And getting the word out about that, isn't it, to the churches?
And what's neat is that your church can figure out how they do it. Let's say one person wants to fund a bed, or 10 people want to put in $10 or whatever it is. And then you can actually choose how you want it to be delivered. You might have a delivery team from your church that you want to set up that the rest of the church helps fund different things, but then you have a team that actually goes to the person's house and drops off the things, and then they can be invited to church.
So this careportal.org, do you have to sign up some way, or is it to get into it?
Yeah.
If churches are folks are listening and they want to get involved, how do they go about doing that?
Yeah, so first of all, you can go to governorsinitiative.org.
Okay.
Find me on there. My email is right there by my picture, Cammy Aguilar. It's actually Camila, CAMILA AGUILAR @tn.gov. You can reach me there, and I can direct you directly to our regional person. You can also go to careportal.org and learn more information there. But basically, you can get your entire church, if a pastor wants to, or the missions pastor, signed up and have the entire congregation like, we want to tackle these needs, in our community. And it's a great building thing for congregations just to do together and to do immediate outreach.
Being foster family is tough, isn't it, Cammy?
Yeah.
And I know that's probably why we have so much trouble getting folks that are willing to do it. We have some folks that we see every Sunday morning. They're foster parents, and we eat breakfast at the same place before church. And at first we didn't understand because every couple of weeks or whatever, or three, there was different children with them.
Right.
And we thought, wow, they've got a big family. Once we got to know them and found out, though, they were foster family, and they were taking them, and sometimes those kids were with them a few days, a week, two, a month, or a few months, but they were constantly changing. And I said, that has to be so difficult because you can't help but get attached to those kids.
Yeah.
And they have to turn around and they go somewhere. And they said, well, the good thing about it is a lot of times we're just taking care of them for a short period of time, and then they're going to a great home.
Yeah.
It's grandma's house, families back together, there's adoption, there's something, but they said it is tough.
Yes, very tough.
So I know we have what's called the foster closet here, a group of our individuals in our community started, and they help those foster families. Everything's free. People donate, and they've got everything you can think of. It's kind of like walking in a store.
Yeah.
And the family goes in and says, okay, we've got these kids and we got these sizes we need, and so our community started doing something similar to that. But this care portal is that's pretty amazing.
Yeah, it's a game changer.
It is.
Yep.
You hear with DCS and having so many children and trying to take care of them and not enough homes. What's the answer to that, though, Cammy? I mean, it seems like it continues to grow with more and more foster kids with all the drug issues and everything, and parents in jail or prison or deceased or whatever.
Yeah. It's a tough situation, but I think right now, especially what our office is trying to do is to get the word out as much as we can and get the tools and resources into every Tennessean's hand.
Yeah.
So that and so much of it I think is just the ownership of the people. That it is that taking off the blinders and asking God, would you help us do that as a people and as a nation and as a state? Because the problem doesn't get solved unless we roll up our sleeves and we actually do it.
We're willing to
and I think
involved.
about, the scripture about talking about the heart of stone, and I'm like, Lord, if there's anything in me, anything in us that has turned to stone, would you turn it back into a heart of flesh so that we can hear the cries of our own people?
Yeah, because they're out there.
Yes.
As county mayor, I see it all the time with folks calling in need, and there's sometimes there's just not enough programs out there.
Right.
But then our churches are starting to come together. They've been great before, but we're starting to see the barriers of denominations being broken down. We don't care what the name is above the door. We're going to come together.
That's right.
And we're going to provide this. And
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm almost seeing it almost like a revival starting.
Yes, absolutely.
Of things changing,
Yeah.
and the community is willing to come together and help.
We've seen more of that too. I live in Williamson County, but there is such a convergence of churches, and forgetting about that top title name.
Yeah.
We are all here for the same purpose and for the common good, and to come together. And if you're reading the scriptures, studying, that is the original purpose, is that we are one body, and Jesus himself prays and says to God, let them be one as you and I are one.
Yeah.
Like that there's no separation.
think I just read that scripture this morning, or yesterday morning one. Yeah.
If you let me go, I'll start preaching, but I'm going to stop there.
Hey, I'm an adult Sunday school teacher and a deacon, so we can
go all day.
We can have church. So part of our issues, drugs, all kinds of things, but there's a mental health side to this too. We're seeing a lot of the folks that are incarcerated they have mental health issues. Right. They've gotten off their meds. They've done something bad. Now they're incarcerated, and it's hard to. There's not enough mental health institutions out there to be able to take care of those. Right. I know the governor and the state is looking at that. That's something that's got to be tackled. Yeah. That kind of fits into all this, doesn't it?
Yeah, and so much of this is a revolving circle. So you see, obviously in foster care, these kids are so much more vulnerable to trauma. I mean, when a child gets taken away from their family, it's the worst day of their life.
Oh, absolutely.
And people in incarceration, when they're around the same other people who are incarcerated, and that whole lifestyle of survival and all of this, and then kids who are aging out of foster care between 18 and 22, so many end up incarcerated, and then the cycle starts again. And all of that, and also the mental health crisis where people are not getting the help that they need, and it's not a mind over matter situation. There are problems, and people need help. And so, I think we believe that one of the first steps is just, if we continue to spread the word, continue, it finally wakes up people's consciousness in their hearts to, these are our people, and if we are well, it is our job as just a good person to come in and help.
We see a lot of people that they have the mental health issues, they get off their meds, or they have mental health issues, they don't go see someone, and they start self-medicating themselves. Yeah. And that self-medication is through either stolen prescription medications or illegal drugs, and it can go in all kinds of directions. They either get incarcerated, or they wind up, they go down that slippery slope and get down to where they're homeless. Yeah. We've got a small homeless population, but when you go out and try to help them, I'd say 75% of them have mental issues. They're off their meds, they're on drugs, and things that they don't want help, and that's a problem. And I know you probably see that in the bigger cities, worse than we have it here in Putnam County.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that so much of that, this is why that mentorship program is so important, because when people have a broken spirit and they've lost the will, they're living, but they've lost the will or the hope that something could actually get better, that God actually could come in and do something with their life. And so that's why that intervention of stopping this cycle is so important for people, for us to be able to bring the light in a hopeless place, and hopefully at some point break those cycles and turn it around.
It's generational change.
Absolutely.
Unless you break that cycle, the kids don't know any better than what the parents did.
And go ahead. No. Our Deputy Director, Dr. Monty Burks, he's incredible. But he talks about that the work that we're doing is breaking generational cycles, breaking generational curses to an extent, because foster care, incarceration, drugs, mental health, suicide rates, all of that is on the same wheel.
Yep. So let's summarize. And if folks want to know more, how's the best way? Website?
Yeah, governorsinitiative.org.
And all these programs, everything's there?
Everything's there. And we have the emails of every person in our office right there on the website. You can email and get more information. You can also go to our Instagram page, Governor's Initiative, and that has our 10 in 10 email, or our basically our monthly newsletter that says everything we're doing that month, every place we're going to be, everyone is welcome to come.
That's great.
Yeah.
Kimmy, y'all are doing great work. Keep it up. Don't give up, okay?
We won't. Thank you.
Anything we can do, you let us know, and thank you for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. That's our show. Thanks for joining us. Hope you have a great rest of your week, and may God continue to bless Putnam County.
You've been listening to Today in Putnam County, hosted by Putnam County Mayor Randy Porter.